Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. I'm super excited to show you something that I saw the other day, which is taking your mineral eyeshadow and turning it into a pressed eyeshadow. So right now I did half of my face. So I'm going to show you how to do that after I'm done showing you how to make pressed eyeshadow. So let me show you what I got here. All right, so this is my palette over here with the eyeshadows that I have already done. And what you are going to need is a plastic, this is just a sandwich plastic bag, a quarter, a toothpick, some tweezers, some empty metal disc that are, these are magnetic metals. You can get these off of Amazon. I think I paid like 10 bucks for 50 of them. And some tissue or paper towel. And then what I used is a empty spray bottle, and I put like maybe just like that much of toner, and then the other half of that I filled it up to here with some alcohol-free witch hazel. And I did try a dropper method and I wasn't really a fan, so I enjoyed the spray bottle method. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm gonna set you guys right there and hopefully you guys will see. This is always fun, trying to, hopefully it doesn't fall flat. All right, so I've done a few of these so that I could kind of test it out and see which way worked. And this is basically what I've come up with. So take your eyeshadow, and what I like to do is I like to just kind of get some of that eyeshadow in the cap, and then I turn it over, and then I'll hit it so that it comes off of the cap. And then, so I've got a bunch in here, and I take my metal container because I don't like to waste anything. So I put my metal disc inside of the cap, and then I'll use my toothpick to fill up the metal container. I don't use all of the eyeshadow. You can if you want a full metal disc, but I didn't really know how I was going to feel about this, and so I didn't want to waste all of my eyeshadow, so I just fill it up basically to cover the entire disc, but it's probably only like a quarter of what's in here. So as you can see there, so that's what I did, is I filled it up, and then I will take my tweezers to get it out of here, and that way the extra that fell into my cap is in there and not on my tissue, so I can put this back into the eyeshadow container. All right, so that is my cap here. And I like to tap my metal disc like a few times onto the hard surface, so that way it will kind of level out. You see that? Leveled out. So now I'm going to take my spray bottle of liquid. So the goal here for me, what I've noticed is I've seen some others use a dropper bottle like this, and they'll just drop like 10, 15, 20 drops, and they'll make like a paste. I wasn't a huge fan of that. It didn't really work out for me, and so I tried it, like it was too wet, and then it took too long to dry. And if you do find that you put too much moisture into the eyeshadow, don't worry. It's really hard to ruin this, because if you do put too much moisture in this, then you could just let it dry out. You can take a blow dryer and, wait for the moisture to evaporate. So don't worry, you really can't mess this up. All right, so now I take my spray bottle and I am going to spray it. Don't spray it too close, but just kind of spray it at a distance. And I do, so that was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I take my Q-tip here. So the goal is you're not going to be making a paste. You just want to get enough moisture into the shadow to where when you go to press it, it will just kind of all bind together. All right, so this is what's going on. I see all these pop-ups. Everybody's talking about convention right now. I'm so excited. All right, so kind of like mix that all around, and then I will do a couple more sprays. And then mix it again. So the goal is not to really make a paste. You can if you want, but this is just how I've been doing it. And then I will go and spray it a couple more times. All right, so now you take your plastic bag here and find a clean part that you haven't used yet. I've used this a couple times. And then you're going to put it down here. So hopefully you guys can see that. All right, good morning, Bianca. And then you take your quarter and you take and put it down there, and then you just press it down and just, I don't know, a few seconds, put all your muscle into it, and I don't have very much. And then you lift the plastic up and voila, you made a pressed eyeshadow. How easy, right? And just slap it onto your magnetic container. All right, I'm gonna do one more. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Empty disc. So I'm going to go ahead and do crushing. So let me see if I have any in the top. Oh yeah, I've got plenty in the top right now, so I don't need to worry about that. So my tip, take your lid, take the metal disc, put it in your lid. That way anything that falls out will go into the lid and you don't have to waste any of that goodness. And then just scrape enough powder to like fill up your cap. You don't need all of it. So after I've pressed it, I've probably only done like a millimeter deep of eyeshadow. So if you want to do more, then you can put all of your eyeshadow in here, but that's not. Isn't it cute? I got it off of Amazon. I love Amazon. So then I take my tweezers and I lift it out. So any fallout I can put back into there. All right. So now that I've got that, I'm going to take my spray bottle and spray it a few times. If you spray it too close, then it's going to make the powder come out. So just go at a distance, spray it a few times, mix it around so you can kind of, the minerals that are wet can mix in with the minerals that didn't get wet. So mix, mix, mix. I'm going to show you there. And then I'm going to spray it again. I do that a few times and then just kind of mix it all. Again, I'm not making a paste. I found the paste method to be completely messy. Or maybe I'm just a messy person. All right. So there you go, like that. Take your plastic bag, take your quarter, put all your muscle into it and press down, and then lift your plastic bag up. Voila. All right, so I wouldn't recommend, actually I just made that pop out. Let me do that, I press it down again. So it still needs to dry a little bit. So I wouldn't recommend using it right away, but I will go ahead and do my makeup with the ones that I did earlier that are already dry. And again, if you feel like you made it too wet, that's okay. You didn't ruin it. You can't ruin it. It's going to evaporate. Just take a blow dryer and you'll be fine. Okay, so I am going to do, so when it comes to pressed mineral makeup, what I noticed is you have, when you take your brush and you just like go over the top, you're not going to pick up a lot of the color. So you kind of have to like stipple it a little bit and kind of just, not a lot, but just enough to break up some of the mineral on top, and then brush. That way you can get the color. And so this is Best Kept Secret, which I use as my base all the time. It's just a nice base color, good for priming, helps to make the colors last longer, and then also easier to blend. And I actually, so this dark brown color is dark 4 foundation, because the Multitasker is a little bit too dark of a brown that I wanted to use for my eyeshadow. So I just used the dark 4 foundation, and that works nicely. So I will take my eyeshadow brush and just kind of dab it a little bit to pick up some of that color, and then I'll wipe. And then I will go into my mirror here, and I'm going to go into the corners of my eyes and get that color there. And then let me make sure I remember what I did on the other side. And then I'm going to take some of the diffused purple, so stipple it. Still got some loose powder from my other app. And I'm going to go here, more on my eyelid, but inner. And then I'm going to take my blending brush, and I'm going to go back and pick up a little bit more of that brown, and I'm going to go back on my eyelids and do the windshield wiper method, back and forth to blend. Hopefully you guys can see this. Oh, I can't see it. The message is covering. All right, and now I'm going to go in with a little bit of this Freedom color, which is a really pretty green color. And if you're, I'm gonna go right here, close to my eyelid. And then I'm gonna pick up some, I did actually a veil. So I turned the veil into an eyeshadow. So you can use the veil or the Wanderlust as a highlighter. I'm gonna go right here underneath. If the mineral makeup breaks in your metal disc, that's okay. Spray it again, and I'm going to take some residual now and just go on the close part of my eyelid. Yeah, if it breaks up again, then just spray it and press down again. So, easy peasy. All right, so this is probably my favorite part of the pressed, is the eyeliner. So normally I would have to take my eyeliner, spray my cap, get some of the eyeliner powder, mix it up, and make it into a paste. So I took my Jet Setter Black and I made it into a pressed powder. So now all I have to do is spray my brush, get my brush a little bit wet, and then I can pick up the Jet Setter, so I don't have to make a mess, and do my, where's my mirror at, and do my eyeliner. So now I'm getting a wet eyeliner without the mess that I was making before. And I've also seen people do a drop. So actually, I don't think I have anything left in there. I'll show you. So they take a dropper and they put 1 drop into the black or whatever eyeliner you want to use. And then since it's wet, then they can pick it up. So I find this method to be a lot cleaner. And I don't have to use my cap anymore, which which is totally cool. There you go. If y'all don't have this brush, you need it in your life. It's amazing. All right. So now that my eyes match, yeah, but that's it. Like, how cool is that? It's just a fun way to easily store your eyeshadows, just another method of using the eyeshadows. I will plan to do this with all of my eyeshadows, and I will also be doing this with my blushes because I do use my blushes as my eyeshadow. And what I'm also going to do is, so how I drop that dropper here into the eyeshadow and I use that as an eyeliner, I'm going to do one, well, probably all the blushes will go into a metal disc, and I'll also be able to use them as lip liner. So instead of having to mix them in your cap like I normally do, you can still see the leftovers, I'll be able to just use this, and it's going to be so much easier. So I'm super excited about that. But yeah, if you have any questions about this, let me know. I hope you give it a go. All right, talk to y'all later. Bye.